Hey there guys, I'm going to be getting started on my 11 by 14 inch pre-stretched canvas and no image laid out yet. I'm going to be doing the background freehand to start off with. So I'm going to have my 1-inch flat brush here to start with to go and cover ground and fill everything in. And on my palette I'm going to have some Phthalo Blue, raw umber, yellow medium, a gap for now for colors later, and then titanium white as always. So I'm going to take Phthalo Blue, I'm going to get a little bit of raw umber, as you can see, just a teeny bit of both, and now a good scoop of white. I want a very, very light kind of Payne's gray, and basically kind of this grayish kind of blue color. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the raw umber to it. Okay, just kind of something like this. Okay, just generally, just like I said, a very light muted blue color, and I'm going to just basically fill in the whole entire canvas with this to get started with. Okay, without cleaning, I'm just going to take pure titanium white. And at the top here, this is where I want my light source to be to show where the sun is kind of peeking in through the cloudy day here. That's going to have snowfall in the background. So just going to apply that here and just kind of fade it down. Okay, without cleaning, I'm going to take some Phthalo Blue now. And let's get some raw umber into that as well. So no titanium white, I want a dark value, and I also want to give sort of a green hue to it. So I'm going to add a little yellow medium into it. And I'm thinking just something very dark, just to kind of give this green forest kind of look. Okay, maybe something kind of like this. And I'm just going to go right here with the indication of a tree here. This is going to be some pines in the background. And while that paint is still wet with that light blue, I want to brush on it and just kind of give this messy, sort of blended, fuzzy, kind of broken lines. I don't want hard, crisp lines, just kind of something like this. Okay, just giving the indication of some forest trees here, some pines. Okay, just whatever. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just background. And this gives the impression of an out of focus look here. As you can see, it's just kind of blended a little bit and just kind of fades off in the distance. So again, on this side, another tree, and just kind of wherever, just kind of doing these indications of some pines like so. Okay, with paint left on the brush, I'm just going to add some more stuff here, and because it is lighter and more faded like this, it's going to show some trees kind of behind the ones that I just did, kind of off in the distance, and it also gives the impression of a blizzard where the snow is kind of hiding the trees in the distance, as well as giving that out of focus look with these fuzzy lines. You can see here just lightly brushing it out and just kind of letting this paint kind of do what it wants. I can always push this stuff around and cover it up if I don't like something, and vice versa. So I'm not really caring about how neat. I'm just kind of just throwing it in here, doing some basic indications of some tree foliage. Okay, just kind of something like this. Okay, no cleaning necessary. I'm going to take some more raw umber and phthalo blue together. And again, I don't want to put any more titanium white in. I want a dark value again. Okay, just something kind of like this. It has a little bit of that yellow in it to give it that green hue. And right here in the center, I want to darken these ones up to kind of push those faded ones back a little bit and add a little dimension and depth in my painting here. Okay, but I don't want to take over that faded stuff all the way. I just kind of want to put some dark value just here and there. As you can see, it has that fuzzy stuff that kind of goes outside of it. And again, just brushing it out as paint runs off the brush. Okay, just like that. And now I have my number 8 natural round bristle brush. I'm going to use these bristles to do some bokeh light stuff as well as some snow fall indications here. Okay, so I'm just going to take titanium white. Okay, just kind of something like that. And let's get a little bit brighter here. Okay, where I want the light to come down and infiltrate a little bit. And I'll just bring it over and just kind of lose some of the trees in that light a little bit. Okay, and right here, these are going to be some snow fall indications as well as some bokeh light kisses from the sun that are coming down and infiltrating through the trees a little bit. So I'm just going to sort of mix it up. I'm going to have some more that are fuzzy and others that are more opaque. and just kind of mix it up in this kind of way. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of that light blue and some more white. Okay, just kind of something like this, just tapping a lot of that paint off the brush. And with a dry natural bristle brush, this is really what gives me a nice bokeh effect and gives me fuzzy lines. It also allows me to blend really well and do these things very well with this brush. So just kind of something like this. Okay, picking up more titanium white, you can see this one's more opaque. And again, just mixing it up, showing the difference between sunlight kisses that are bokeh light and others that look like snowfall coming down. So I just kind of want to mix it up and just kind of place them wherever, do different sizes, just randomly place them here and there. And of course, if I don't like something, I'll just take a dark value and cover it up. It's all good. Okay, more titanium white. Let's brighten this up. As you know, in acrylics, another layer means brighter, more vibrant, more opaque. And I really want to get this light source up here where the sun is kind of infiltrating through the clouds and all of that, a little bit more of a dramatic effect and brighten it just a little bit more. Okay, so something like this, you can do this to any degree. So now we have kind of a blizzard going on. So I'm going to let this dry and then I'll place my image on and trace it out and I'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, the Grinch is laid out now and I use wax transfer paper to trace them on. And this image is available down in the description box if you'd like to trace this out. Okay, so now I have my palette knife here. I have some Phthalo Green. I have some burnt umber, Cad Orange, and down here some permanent red. Okay, so I'm going to make up a general value to work with. I'm going to take some Phthalo Green, and to that, let's get some yellow medium. This is going to really make this green a lot more vibrant. Okay, let's get some white to that now. And then just a teeny bit of raw umber. That's just to dull it back just a smidge. That just gives more of a realistic look to it. Even though it is kind of a cartoony painting, I still want to get just sort of a realism to it. So just kind of like this, picking it up, smashing it down, getting all that color mixed. And now I have my number 6 angle brush to get around everything really well and precise with crisp lines. And I'm going to go ahead and load this up now with that value that I just made. And let's just block in our Grinch with this. So along the way, I'm going to leave some gaps like this, as you see here, just here and there. That just helps me to map everything out and not lose where I want to change on values and keep the dimension alive in the face so it's not just one flat color, of course. So where it's necessary, not going to cover everything. And again, that's just for mapping out and blocking in and all of that so that I don't lose my image. All right, without cleaning now, let me take some raw umber, and I'm going to go into some of that green value here just to darken it. Okay, I'm going to be playing some shadows and lights and all those back and forth, so it really doesn't matter. And right here, I just again want to block in down here on the belly area. And of course, I'll be building up other layers with other values later. Okay, so now without cleaning, I'm going to go phthalo blue. I'm going to go some yellow. Okay, looking again for a dark green color. And right here, I just want to start filling in some dark values in their general locations. Alrighty, no cleaning again. I'm going to take some phthalo blue and some raw umber together. And a good scoop of white again. I want to go back to that similar light blue color that I started off on the background with. It's something kind of like this. And with this color, I'm going to block in his hot chocolate mug. And again, no cleaning, just taking pure titanium white. I want to add kind of a highlight to the cup here. Okay, just blocking in some general values. Okay, no cleaning again. I'm going to go back to that dark green value here. That's a little raw umber blue and some of that green that I made. Okay, and with this, let's place some of that shadow color in its general location. And with just a little paint left on the brush, I'm just going to dust that up and very lightly just kind of fade that up just like so. Okay, with a clean brush now, I'm going to go into some burnt umber and just a little bit of yellow medium. That just warms up the burnt umber a little bit and makes it more of a warmer, kind of a brown color here. And with this, let's just block in the hot chocolate with this. Okay, so something like this, a nice general base color for now, and I have my script liner brush now. I'm going to start at the top of the hair with that. So I'm going to go into that green value, and let's take some yellow medium to that, and now a good scoop of white. So I want this very light lime kind of a green. Okay, lots of water, and pulling through as I turn it brings it to a nice sharp tip. Okay, just kind of like that, and the harder I push, of course, the fatter the line, so I'm going to start with some pressure, using the whole brush, and as I bring it down, very little pressure and just with the very tip, and it brings it to a nice point. So kind of something like this. There's no right or wrong. I'm just going to go up and over kind of like this and just kind of do these little Dr. Seuss kind of style like looking things. Okay, so something like that. The hairdo just kind of up and over, like I said. Okay, back to my number 6 angle brush. I'm going to get real precise with this on the eye area now. So I want to go into raw umber and phthalo blue, a little yellow medium to get that very dark green value here. Okay, a nice chiseled edge, and I want to use the very tip. I really love these brushes for these precisions. Okay, right here, Just going to use that tip, as you can see here, and really well just get in here and do those things. Okay, so I'm going to switch now to my script liner brush. Now you can use whatever brush you're comfortable with. I'm going to go into that same value with lots of water. Okay, and then pulling it through again as I turn it brings it to a nice sharp tip, and it loads the bristles up really well. And with that sharp tip, again, just giving myself a way to get more precise. And you can use whatever brush you want. You can also use a detail brush or stick with the angle brush, or use this script liner as I'm doing here, as I find this is really excellent in really small places. As you can see here with the very tip, I can really get in here and turn it really well and really get these curves really nice like this. Okay, so I want to get just a teeny gap here between the pupil and that last line that I did. You can see here, very precise. And the script liner brush is the very tip. I can really get in here super well. So with this, I'm just going to use this to fill in the rest of the pupil, just like so. Okay, and right here, I want to use that script liner brush again to precisely make this little separation line here on the mouth. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to go again with my script liner brush to some yellow medium. Let's get some phthalo blue. It's got a little raw umber into that. Now let's get just a little titanium white. So it's a little bit lighter. Okay, pulling through as I pull it, or sorry, turning it as I pull it through to a nice sharp tip. And right where I left this gap, I want to fill that in, and I want to be careful not to cover up my dark line there on the very outside. But if I do, it's no big deal. I can just take that dark value again and put it back if it gets covered. Alrighty, going back now to my number 6 angle brush here. I want to go into some yellow medium now, and I want to take that green value that I made. Now let's get some titanium white to that, just a little bit. Okay, a very light green value like this, and just loading it up. And with the very sharp edge on it, I'm just going to hash in these little fur-like things, just like so. And I don't want to cover up the entire green base color that I did, as that's going to help me to show shadow and also build up dimension and depth and all of those things with those values playing together. Okay, and also right here where I left this gap here, as you saw that I left some gaps open during our blocking stages, this shows me again where I want to start placing highlights and shadows and all of those things. So just kind of randomly kind of placing these in. Again, if I don't like something, I can just cover it up. All good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my script liner brush one more time. And let's use the very tip again. And with that same value, I can get finer lines and details this way. So as you can see right here on the arm, I'm going to do some horizontal strokes like this versus the vertical stuff that I did down the body. This just shows the direction of his fur and also shows where his arm is as opposed to the rest of his body. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take again my script liner brush. Let's go into raw umber and phthalo blue. Okay, this is my shadow color. Let's go into a little bit of that green that I made. Lots of water, pulling through as I turn it, loading up the bristles, bringing it to a nice sharp tip. Okay, and on this part here, I just want to hash that here and there, but not everywhere. And this shows shadow and all that. That's why I didn't care if I did the belly in the same value as the rest of the body, because it's just going to be values played back and forth. And again, I can cover up what I don't like. Okay, right here under the neck, a little bit heavier to show shadow right here. Okay, this is what gives the 3D and dimension and all that, is all these values that play together and basically put in their general locations. Okay, so just playing these values on top of other ones and building them up back and forth just like this. Okay, and as you can see right here underneath the arm, let's give more shadow by putting more of that value down. That gives a separation and shows where things are at. Okay, again with my script liner brush, let's go in a little bit more green, a little bit more yellow with that dark value, and let's change the flavor just a teeny bit. But again, this is shadow. Okay, as you can see with my very tip here, I'm just going here and there, being very precise, kind of selective here. Just kind of showing some depth and dimension and adding the shadow in here. All right, with that same dark value, let's go right here. I just want to hash something kind of unique and kind of specific and precise. This is just to show some details on his head. It just kind of adds to his expression a little bit. All right, back to my number 6 angle brush here again. So I'm going to be changing back and forth. You can use whatever brush again that you're comfortable with. Okay, I'm going to go into some yellow medium. Let's go phthalo blue. Let's go a little raw umber into that, okay, for that dark value again. Okay, just kind of something like that, getting that nice chiseled edge. And with precision, let's get in here, and I want to just kind of strike some dark areas in the around the eye just a little bit. Okay, no cleaning. I'm just going to take some yellow medium. Let's go a little bit more white. Okay, so I can just pretty much change the values a lot without cleaning, just by adding more or less of another color or more white. Okay, and right here, let's go with some of this highlight color, as I like to call it, and let's just block in some more stuff with this. Okay, again, no cleaning. I'm going to go back to that dark value again. As you see, this raw umber, little phthalo blue into that yellow medium. Okay, that dark green. Okay, something kind of like that with that chiseled edge. And with that, I want to go up and hash some more dark stuff like this. Okay, and I'll even go on the hair a little bit like this. This gives a little bit of shadow and dimension. Okay, and also right here, let's just kind of dust out a little bit of this to show shadow play right there where there's a separation on the face. Okay, with little paint left on the brush, just glazing over right here, just kind of showing some shadow play. Okay, with a clean brush, I want to take just titanium white and I want to go into some of that light lime green and just a little bit more yellow medium. Okay, a lot more white. And I want this extremely light yellow color here. Okay, and I want to go on the very tips of the hair. This just shows where the light comes down from the top and really just lights up the top of his hair, just like this. Okay, with that same value, let's go on the rest of the head here where the light's hitting the strongest. I want to strike some highlights here and there. So as you can see with this light highlight color here, I'm just going to hash in and show some more fur indications. And this is where I'm going to start to really build some detail here, as you'll see. Okay, just like this, just getting out here. And look at how that just comes to life. All that fur and that realistic look for the Grinch here. He's just really starting to look like he should, and his body is starting to take off in this way. Okay, let's do that over here as well. Okay, so I picked up some more yellow medium here for the color change. It's not quite as bright on this side as the left there, but there is still some light striking, so just a little value change. Okay, going back to my script liner again, going back into that light green color. And with this, again, I just want to go in here and on the eyebrow here, just kind of want to hash in just a few little things like this. This really breaks up the eyebrow and gives it more realism this way. Okay, no cleaning. Let's go back to that dark green. See, I'm just picking up some raw umber and blue again with that yellow and that green still left on my brush. Okay, lots of water pulling through as I turn it to that nice sharp tip, and check it out. I can just make these little bushy little eyebrows here. Okay, just kind of something like this. I want to be kind of careful because with the dark value, it does take a few layers to cover those up if I get too far out with them. Okay, so just kind of something like that, just kind of using the tip and just kind of hashing them in like this. That just really builds body and texture and all of that. Okay, with a clean brush now, I want to go back into that yellow, or that light green sort of value. Let's play a few of those in there, and also in here as well. You can see it just kind of breaks up, the bushy eyebrows, and just kind of blends it in, makes it more natural looking. Okay, something kind of like that. Okay, now I have my number 2 nylon flat brush. I'm going to use that to do a little bit of shading. I have, again, that dark value of the blue and the raw umber. A little bit of yellow. Okay, let's go in here. I just kind of want to strike just some dark shadow, and I don't want to cover all that green value up there. Okay, just kind of coming around it and sort of surrounding it like so. Okay, with that same value and that same brush, I'm going to go right here and start showing some more face details and just building up more texture and values. Okay, same brush. I'm going to go now with a clean brush into that yellow. Let's go with some white. Okay, a lot more white. Okay, very light yellow, kind of like this. And let's go again on here, and I want to really brighten up some things. Alrighty, no cleaning again. Let's go yellow medium. Again, titanium white. There's a little bit of that green value in there. Okay, more vibrant, more of a highlight showing on his fur here. So I don't want to go everywhere with this, of course. That just really kills the highlight and the dimension and the depth and the 3D pop and all that. So just here and there, not everywhere. Okay, and back to my number 6 angle brush, as you can see. Just more yellow medium to give me more of a golden tone here. Okay, let's use the edge of that, and again, I just want to strike that very here and there, but not everywhere. Alrighty, going back to my script liner brush again. So as you can see, going back and forth, doing whatever I need to do and getting more finer details. Other times it's covering more grounds and just building the layers up, not taking over any one value, letting them all play together, and the different brushes and the strokes that they make play together. And in this way, I'm just building up the realism, the texture, and all of the cool things that go into making this pop and be what it is. Okay, going to my number 3 nylon round brush now. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to go to titanium white, just a teeny bit of that light blue value. Okay, mostly white, pulling through as I turn it again to bring it to that nice sharp tip. And with this, let's just place the indication of some snow that has fallen on him. So of course he's out in the cold. He's mean, he's green, he's got his cup of hot cocoa, and he's chilling, literally, with snow falling on him. Okay, back to my number 6 angle brush. I'm going to go into some yellow medium, a little bit of that lime green, titanium white. Okay, I want that nice light golden color again. And with the edge, let's just go in here. I want to strike again some more of these fine gold details of highlights here. Okay, so as you can see with acrylics, the more times you build up another layer and play colors back and forth, letting other values and effects play together, the better it gets and the smoother it gets and the more effective, and just everything just gets better. So if you're frustrated, keep going. I'm telling you, it's gonna work, and you just got to keep building it up, and it just will, I promise. So as you can see, just hashing it here and there, and just like that, it just gets better each time. Okay, so now I'm going to go into some permanent red with a clean brush now with my angle brush. I'm going to take a little Cad Orange. Let's get a smidge of burnt umber, and now let's get some titanium white. Okay, kind of like this sort of dull kind of peachy red color, and let's block in the lip with this. So I'm going to apply a little bit more pressure here, and as I get up here where it closes, very, very little pressure and just the very tip, and I can bring it up to that nice point like that. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to get a little bit more red. Let's get some raw umber now into it. I want to build some shadow with this lip color here. Okay, and as you'll see up here, I'm going to build some depth and dimension by placing shadows and highlights within the mouth. Okay, this is what makes it pop and gives it that 3D. So right up there's going to be a little bit more of a darker value as it's more in the shadow as the mouth comes together. And then also down here, you'll see I'm going to place a shadow kind of underneath. And again, this just pops it out. Okay, with a clean brush, I'm going to just take pure titanium white. And this value is still a little wet, so it's going to sort of blend in, but it's going to make it brighter and more like a highlight. So right here, just in the middle like this. And as I get up, I'm just going to sort of fade it up very lightly. See, just like that, it pops it out. Okay, again with my number 6 angle brush. Let's go in there now, and let's get some titanium white. Let's go a little burnt umber to that. Let's go a little yellow to warm that. Okay, let's put some highlights here on our cocoa. Okay, kind of something like that. And again, I don't want to take over all that dark value, but I want to let some of it show through, and let's just place some highlights here and there. Okay, with a clean brush again, and this is my number 2 nylon flat brush that I'm going to use. I'm going to just get pure titanium white, and right on the very top here, let's just put some striking white highlights up here. Okay, with my script liner brush now, lots of water and phthalo blue and raw umber mixed, I'm going to go ahead and sign this right here. And again, I want to thank you so much for following along and all of your support. Please do me a favor and subscribe if you dig this video and enjoyed this lesson and all of my art. I really appreciate that. That really helps me to keep going. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop those down below. And any questions you have, I'll do my best to answer anything. So totally go for this. This is super simple, believe it or not. It's very forgiving. Anything you don't like, you can cover up with other values if they're out of place or angles are wrong. It's all good. And of course, the more times you build up layers, the better it gets in every way. So totally go for that. And with that, I want to wish you guys again a very Merry Christmas and a happy painting to you.